Welcome to Rogue Ranger Radio. My name is Don Schmidt, and I'm here with my co-host, Jenna Randar.
Good morning.
Good morning. We want to share our expert insights on outdoor recreation in and around Northern California, within a roughly 3-hour drive from Sacramento.
We're going to focus on seasonal opportunities that you and your family can enjoy and make it accessible while blending storytelling, history, and some practical travel advice to get you where you want to go.
Yeah, and this episode will have a lot of practical travel advice. Today is going to be the first of a 2-part series on winter recreation. Now, for those of us, like me, who love all things winter, it's about time to think about pulling out the sled and maybe dusting off the ice skates. We want to help you plan an easy winter adventure. So we're going to talk about where to go safely and easily to play in the snow. Our focus will be on free or low-cost access on public lands.
We're going to include cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, and even a little bit of ice skating in the parks along the Interstate 80 and US 50 corridor that take in Donner Summit, Truckee, Lake Tahoe, and the Echo Summit area.
Yep. And we're going to also talk about safe travels in snow country because winter in the Sierra Nevada mountains can be a wonderful playground, but it does require some travel planning. So let's talk a little bit about park etiquette, because a lot of people like to head into the mountains with their dogs, but there are some rules, since we're talking about public lands and parks, that you want to keep in mind when you have your dog with you. Essentially, if you have a dog, it has to be leashed, usually a 6-foot leash or shorter. And we always ask people to bring some poop bags with you so that you can pick up after your dog. The important thing is that if you're going to a specific area that we talk about today, check that website to see if they have specific regulations before you head out.
Let's talk about parking in winter. Watch out for signage. You don't want your car damaged by snowplows or to be towed because you're blocking said snowplow.
Yeah, no.
And because we're going to be talking about snow parks, be sure to get your parking pass online or ahead of time to avoid hassle or getting ticketed for not paying. So let's get into it. Let's go play family style. The Sierra Nevada are beautiful in winter, but access can be a little challenging and can be a little difficult with parking because these parking lots are a lot smaller in the winter due to the aforementioned snow. They don't get plowed as widely.
No, they don't.
But that's why we're going to talk about snow parks, Don. It's an area that's developed and has parking. So if you want to get out for the day and go play with your family in the snow, it's a safe spot for you to move off the highway, not impede traffic, and everyone can have a good day. To help us understand everything about snow parks, we're going to speak with our guest today, Jen Grady, from the California State Parks Off-Highway Motor Vehicle Recreation Division.
I am very excited about this.
I am too.
Because we have both worked with Jen, and we love Jen, and she has a great job right now. So, Jen Grady, welcome to Rogue Ranger Radio.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you were able to join us today. Well, if you wouldn't mind, would you give us your job title these days?
My job title is the Grants and Cooperative Agreements Manager for the OHMBR division. So I oversee a multitude of programs. I oversee our grants program. And then I also oversee the staff that work the snow park and winter recreation program, which is our cooperative agreements side.
Now, most people know and understand what a traditional park is all about, but what exactly is a snow park?
I would say it is deceiving by name for sure. A snow park is really, like Jenna mentioned, a safe place to park off the highway that has a restroom facility and access to winter recreation, be it motorized access at some locations, non-motorized access at other, but really it's just the parking lot itself.
I think you kind of hit on a very key element of the snow parks, is that I think all of them, or almost all of them, do have restroom access. Is that correct?
Correct. They all have restrooms. maybe a porta potty, but they all have restrooms.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Hey, Jen, can you tell us why they were established?
So they were established in 1984 by the legislature because winter recreation was just growing in the state of California. And people were just stopping on the highway, which still happens today.
Yeah.
And just finding, that big lump of snow that they wanted to play in. But the legislature really realized that it wasn't safe, and they needed a program that's truly a permit program to allow winter recreationalists of all nature to access a lot that was safe and plowed for access with a restroom for them to be able to have fun in the snow.
Yeah, it really is so important, as you said, on a nice sunny bluebird day after a storm comes in, there's a lot of people. Can anyone use a snow park?
Anyone can use a snow park. Purchase your permit, like Jenna mentioned, and anyone can go.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about where they're located, how many they are, and what are the most popular ones?
So we have 18 snow parks total in California. They run as straight as State Route 49 with Yuba Pass all the way
Mhm.
down to Fresno off State Route 168. We have one off US 395
Yep.
over in Mono County at Rock Creek. We've got a few off State Route 4, Lake Alpine, Spicer, Round Valley. We have in the Pinecrest area. We have Highway 108 is what we call it. It's a hugely popular motorized location, so snowmobile access. And then we have a good chunk right in around Tahoe, which I know you guys wanted to speak with today, both a few up 80, some off 89 around the lake, and we have quite a few off of 88, kind of near Kirkwood.
So there's pretty much something for everyone in every locale.
So Jenna had asked the question, which ones are the most popular?
So, it depends on area. So here in Sacramento, our two most popular spots are definitely the Donner Snow Park, Highway 80, conveniently located right next to Boreal Ski Resort. We have Echo Summit up on 50 right at the top when you're about to kind of make that bend and head down into Lake Tahoe. And then the ones on 88, they're heavily visited also Carson, Pass, Meese Meadows, and the Fresno locations for those folks getting out of the cities. It is amazing the amount of traffic in all four of those.
So let's get into cost because we talked about snow park permit. What does it cost to use a snow park and how do you get a permit?
So it is $15 a day. If you think you're going to go more than 3 times, you get that season pass for $40. It's good at any snow park location. That's the main thing with our permits. If you get to one and it's full, we've got maps online that you can look at. Head to the next one. They can be used anywhere. So 15 a day, 40 for the season.
And so why do we have permits? What's the whole point of charging for a snow park?
Yeah, so snow parks are one of those anomalies that they are a self-funded program. So this is not funded through the general fund. It is straight through permit sales. So every permit that is purchased goes right back into this program. It's paying for signage and marketing, the plowing of those locations, the cleaning of the restrooms. That is all covered with those permit fees.
So let's talk about how do you get a snow park pass? Where can we go?
So you can buy permits online if you wish. They can be purchased. A link on the OHV division's webpage, and it'll take you to a company called Cloudwise. If you buy a season permit, you can print a temporary pass that'll be good for a month while you wait for your season permit to come in the mail. If you do a day pass, you can print it right there at home. Otherwise, there's also a list online for brick and mortar. So standard businesses, we have a ton of vendors throughout the state that are offering these permits. There's at least one on your way to every single snow park. Mountain Hardware and Sports in Truckee.
Okay.
those for those Donner locations, Mountain Recreation, Grass Valley, if you're coming out that way. If you're heading, out near Pinecrest, the Pinecrest Lake Resort has them. So we've got a little bit of everything for everybody. Of course, the easiest is going to be online, but you do have to be able to print those. That is the one requirement through legislation, is that the permit is required to be on the dashboard and visible in each of those locations when you're parking your car.
So are the snow park passes only valid in California?
There is one state that we have reciprocity with. Right now, it is Oregon. So Oregon permits are valid in California. California permits are valid in Oregon.
Jen, what kind of facilities like restrooms can someone expect to find if they were to go to one of these snow parks?
Vault toilets. Of course, we're up in the winter, so you're not going to find a flushing toilet anywhere. Make sure you bring your hand sanitizer. They should all be clean. We've got an amazing contractor that is going through cleaning all of those Tahoe locations, as well as the locations there off 88. Some have porta potties. Taylor Creek has porta potties. And then Donner Snow Park also has some along the frontage road there. So there's lots of restrooms at that location.
What other advice might you give someone who wants to take their family up to the mountains and play in the snow?
Plan ahead, plan ahead, plan ahead,
Yeah.
and then have a backup plan. Plan for being stuck in the snow. I know it sounds silly. The weather up there can change so quickly.
Yeah.
So don't go wearing flip-flops. That's what you're telling me?
Don't go wearing flip-flops. Absolutely not. The snow is cold. It is wet. You are going to get wet. Wool socks, moisture wicking clothing, layers. Make sure you have a second pair of clothes for when you're done playing. Some of the gas stations might have mittens or gloves. Definitely do that. If you don't have them, your hands are going to get cold fast and you're not going to have fun.
Yeah.
Make sure you're bringing water. Make sure you're bringing food, potentially food if you are stuck. So blankets, trash bags for your wet clothes. Make sure you're cleaning up after yourself. So some of our locations that are bigger have like larger trash dumpsters, but most of them don't. So really the pack it in, pack it out method. So you bring it, make sure you've got a garbage bag to take it home and throw it away when you get home.
Yeah, and I want to emphasize the fact that if you're bringing a plastic sled and it breaks, that needs to
Yes.
go back home with you. You cannot leave it
Yes,
out.
take it home. Every year we get calls from the local forests that are surrounding those snow parks, asking for help with getting the word out to have people take home their trash. Their broken sleds is the biggest hazard.
It is up to you to make sure to pack it in and pack it out. Well, that's great, Jen. Anything else that you might want to share?
I would say if it's snowing, stay home. I know it is a great experience to stand out in the snow, but if you are not comfortable driving in the snow and it's snowing, you become a hazard to yourself and a hazard to others. Uh, I would say have patience. Everybody wants to play in the snow. The Donner Snow Park is a major hub for backcountry access, and it is often full by 8 o'clock in the morning. So definitely have patience and have a backup plan somewhere else to go. Blackwood Canyon is not too far, just in towards Tahoe on 89 there from Donner.
We're actually going to talk a lot about other alternatives in the Highway 80 and Highway 50 corridor because it can get so busy up there at Donner Summit. So we're going to give people some options as to where they might be able to go. So, well, that's great. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you joining us today. So Jen was great in telling us about the snow park program, and she talked fairly specifically about Donner Summit and Echo Summit snow parks because those are the busiest. We're going to talk a little bit about some alternatives in and around the Highway 80 and Highway 50 corridor. So let's start with Interstate 80. So we've already kind of talked about the Donner Snow Park, but the important thing is that you want to park after the
After.
giant snow park signs, not before, because the before is private property, belongs to Boreal Ridge. One thing to remember is do not use the rest area on Highway 80 right at the very top of the summit
Yeah.
for snow play. I noticed when I drove up there recently that Caltrans has actually built fencing
Yeah.
up to the bathrooms to keep people out, because there are actually frozen ponds right behind the rest areas
Yep.
on both sides of the freeway, and people have fallen through the ice in there. So you do not want to do snow play in that particular area. Donner Summit Snow Park does require a snow park permit. Now, just down the hill, 4 miles down the hill from the Donner Summit Snow Park toward Truckee, is a place called Johnson Canyon. The Truckee Donner Land Trust just built a brand new trailhead parking lot there. Now, I don't know if they're going to plow it in the wintertime. However, Caltrans usually plows a big wide spot right off of the exit right there.
So it could
There's,
be an option.
yeah, could be an option.
Okay.
Now, a little further down the hill going toward Truckee at exit 184, it's actually one of the main Truckee exits. That'll take you to Donner Memorial State Park, my old stomping grounds. The thing about Donner State Park is that it's flat. There really isn't sledding available there. They do charge a fee during the wintertime and summertime, year round. Just walk past the kiosk down toward the creek, and there's a good snow play area down there. The cool thing is that they normally have groomed snowshoe and cross country ski trails there. Snowshoes and cross country skis can be rented from a variety of places in town. Now, one of the other places that's kind of close to that, but at the other end of Donner Lake, off of exit 180, is the West End Beach. That is run by the Truckee Donner Recreation Department. They normally plow that parking lot. It's flat as a board, but it is a good place to
You
just
just
kind
want to
of,
stop and pull over though and
yeah, and
throw
get
snow
out.
at your kids.
Yeah, throw some snow at the kids, build a snow person, whatever you want to do. That's a good place.
Okay.
Another kind of fun place within the town of Truckee is the Truckee River Regional Park on Old Brockway Road. It's sort of on the south side of Truckee, past the railroad tracks. The cool thing about the regional park is that every year they set up an ice rink there. And so it's one of the few places in and around that's very reasonable cost to go ice skating. They do have skate rentals there as well. Another couple of places I'll mention are Prosser Reservoir and Boca Reservoir. Boca Reservoir is a little further toward Reno. They have access on side roads to get to those areas, but the area around the lakes are not normally plowed.
I think you need to be a little more adventurous if you're gonna
Yeah.
go those routes.
Yeah, and the thing is that unless there's been a lot of snow, there won't be any snow in those areas because there's no trees, so it melts off pretty quickly. Let's take a little jog up Highway 50. So coming out of Sacramento, going on the other direction. One kind of interesting place that is up on Highway 50 before you get to Sierra at Tahoe Ski Resort, past Twin Bridges and Strawberry, is a spot called Camp Sacramento. And right across from the entrance of that, there's a large parking area there that Caltrans often will plow out. And so you can pull off there. There's a nice little hill right there, and it makes for a great place to do some sledding if the parking is available. Another place to check out is one that Jen mentioned, the Echo Summit Snow Park. It's before you get to the top of Echo Summit on Highway 50. Watch for the big brown signs. The permit is required. There are restrooms there, and it does have plowed parking. Jen, you are a little familiar with Taylor Creek, are you not?
I'm a little familiar with Taylor Creek.
I know Taylor Creek is one of those places that, unless you're staying in and around South Lake Tahoe, it's not a destination kind of place. When you get down to South Lake Tahoe, it's about 5 miles out of the area they call the Y. Up Highway 89 as if you were going toward Emerald Bay. And Taylor Creek will be on the left-hand side. It's not very hilly. It's probably more on the flat side, and it is very popular, especially with local residents, but it is a fairly decent place to play in the snow. And lastly, off the Highway 50 corridor, I want to mention Hope Valley. Jen had mentioned that as well. It's actually right on Highway 88 where Highway 89 comes in, and that will be south of South Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, I'm much more familiar with that one. It's definitely more wide open, picturesque, but definitely I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
You know,
It has a large
it's large.
parking
Thank
area
you.
there. Yeah.
It's large.
Yep.
You're gonna have more chance of getting a parking spot
Yep.
later in the day. It is exposed open, but it still gets quite a bit of snow.
Yeah, it does
So-
because it's higher up. It's above 7,000 feet. There is a cross-country ski
Yes.
a concessionaire that plows some trails there.
I believe so.
And it's also a motorized area for snowmobiles.
Yes.
So you'll have a very mixed bag of people that use the Hope Valley snow.
All recreational users,
Yeah.
motorized, non-motorized. But let's jump to the California side of Lake Tahoe, Don.
Yeah. One of the most interesting spots and probably one of the best snow play areas in and around North Lake Tahoe that nobody really knows about is the North Tahoe Regional Park. It's off of Highway 28 in Tahoe Vista. So you can get to it either going 267 from Truckee into Kings Beach and hanging a right, or go to Tahoe City out of Truckee and hang a left on Highway 28. And just about in the middle is Tahoe Vista. There are signs for North Tahoe Regional Park. Now, they plow out parking areas there. They have 3 different sledding hills from beginner, intermediate to kind of steep. They had not set the parking fee for the winter time as of our recording of this podcast, but there will be a fee. They also have groomed ski and snowshoe trails. It's like I said, it's kind of the hidden gem of North Lake Tahoe because it's mostly local residents that go up and use North Tahoe Regional Park.
But let's drive around the lake a little bit. If you were to continue driving past Tahoe Vista and you drive through Tahoe City and make your way down to the west shore, don't blink because you will miss it, is Blackwood Caspian. It'll be on your right-hand side.
It's on a curve.
It's on a curve. Jen mentioned it very briefly when she spoke to us. It is a very small parking lot.
Yeah.
I don't think it's great for sledding personally, but I have spent some time. It's it's heavily forested.
Yeah.
You don't really have a view of the lake, but it's quiet. There's snow. You can build snowmen, play with your kids. It's fine.
Yeah. It is an area for motorized use. There's a lot of snowmobiles that use Blackwood Canyon. The parking lot tends to fill up with trucks, trailers for snowmobiles. But especially if you're there midweek, it's a great spot.
If you continue to make your way down the West Shore, is a place Don and I both know and love very well.
Yep.
It's Sugar Pine Point State Park. It's 9 miles south of Tahoe City. There's lots of parking. They do plow it. It is flat as pancake. Really not good for sledding, but it is groomed for cross-country skiing, lots of snowshoeing. There is a parking fee. It is not a snow park, okay? So it is a state park, not a snow park, but you can play in the snow. Yeah. Should we talk a little bit about the history of Sugar Pine? Because there's a very large metal sign when you first drive into Sugar Pine, Don. Yeah,
so it was one of the locations during the 1960 Winter Olympics for the cross-country ski and biathlon events out there. So the cross-country ski trails kind of follow along one of the original trail routes. If you look at the map, there were a lot of trails that are no longer being groomed at all. It's a great place to kind of check out, especially cross-country skiing.
Let's move on over to the Nevada side.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Tahoe Meadows. It's off Highway 431 to Mount Rose Summit. It's 8 miles north of Incline Village. There is no parking fee. You do park right off the highway, but it is plowed. And when you come up over the little ridge, it'll flatten out into a meadow at the top, and you'll see cars lined on the right-hand side. And there's a meadow, and then there's also a little forested area where the forested area is a groomed cross-country ski area.
Yeah, they do allow parking along Highway 431. They usually plow out enough space for cars to park on either side of the highway there.
Yes,
There's
thank you.
no real parking lot.
I just, when I'm envisioning it in my head, I see it on the right-hand side because that's the way I'm coming from, because I'm not coming from Nevada. And it does have stunning views of the lake if you go out on the cross-country ski trail.
It is above 8,000 feet. The snow is usually much better there than it might be anywhere else around Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
So, over on Spooner Summit, off of Highway 28 near Highway 50, if you're going toward Carson City, it's about 11 miles outside of the state line. But Spooner Summit actually has two different areas up there. There's no parking fee. Again, the state of Nevada will plow out the shoulders on the side of the road for cars to park. There's a huge sled hill right there. There's actually a couple of different ones, but because that's a major highway, just be very careful when you're maneuvering in and around that spot. If you turn onto Highway 28 going toward Incline Village and go just a very short way on the right-hand side, there's a plowed parking lot there that's primarily for groomed cross-country ski trails. There's no parking fee, but they do ask that you contribute if you're going to use the cross-country ski trails.
Let's talk about where not to go. I think we've pretty much hit on it, but don't park on the shoulder of the freeways or highways or secondary roads due to impeding traffic, snow plows. You could be towed. Park only where it's legal, please. Neighborhoods off the highway are private property and not open to sledding.
No.
Go where there are restrooms and trash facilities if you're going to go do snow play.
Yeah, and a lot of people like to go to Truckee. However, there's a place in Truckee that's fairly well known. It's called MacIver Dairy Hill, right on Donner Pass Road between the old town and the newer town of Truckee. Please do not use that as a sled area. There's no legal parking available there. There are no restrooms. There's no trash disposal, and it is an environmentally sensitive area. So we're going to put it out there that that's not a good place to go play in the snow if you're in Truckee.
And last but not least, Jen did cover it. Don's covered it, but now I'm going to cover it. Do not use the Donner Summit Rest Area for snow play. It looks enticing. There's frozen ponds. It's beautiful. You're on the top of a mountain. Just use the restroom and keep going.
Yeah.
Please.
Let's talk a little bit about traveling in the winter. Won't go too far into the weeds, but we know that if you're traveling any time outside of a nice clear day, it's often a very slow travel. There aren't that many exits on Highway 50 or Highway 80. There could be closures. Nowadays, any spin out, any accident, they'll shut down the whole highway. So you have to kind of plan for that. And it's always better if you're going to do some snow play to go up after the storm has cleared. The thing about driving in the snow is you have to have a very different mindset. Even if the road looks fairly dry, if it's wet, it could be icy in places. Concrete takes a little bit of time to warm up. Bridges are going to be icy. There isn't a need for speed when you're driving in the mountains, particularly in the winter. A gentle touch on the accelerator is your friend. The brake is not necessarily your friend, especially if you're driving in snow conditions. So in the off-highway vehicle world that Jen and I both worked in, we use the term slow is pro. Yep. Now, during snow conditions, you want to double or triple your time estimates of travel. The roads could be closed at any time for any reason. Speed limits will drop in chain control areas. The speed limits might go down to 25 within a chain control area. And a lot of people don't really know. They'll talk about these chain ratings on
I didn't know.
TV and radio.
I've lived in Sierra Nevada for like 15 years.
Yeah, well, they're in vehicle code. R1, which you'll hear often, R1, if you have a two-wheel drive car, whether it's front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive, you need to put chains on. That's just the deal. R2, If you have an all-wheel drive car and you have tires that are rated for mud and snow, it has a little thing on the side of the tire that says M plus S, might even have a little snowflake on there, then you won't need chains. But even if you have an all-wheel drive car, if you don't have those kinds of tires, then you will need to put chains on your car. And they never really talk about it, but there is a R3 rating, which essentially is everything gets chained, but the road is normally closed. So you don't really have
Just
to worry about R3 because
just stay
they'll
home.
just close the road.
Just
Right.
stay home.
Just stay home until it clears up. You always want to get your chains or cables before you head up the hill. That's the best way. Most auto parts stores in the foothills and along I-80 and US 50, along the state highways, have them, especially in the Tahoe Truckee area. That's not a problem. But you can also order them on Amazon or some other place online. There are chain installers up there if you don't want to get out in the wet and the muck to install your own chains. There are people that are willing to take your money to do so. I do not know what they're charging this year. If you want to do it yourself, practice with those chains at home. You want a tarp, good gloves, a waterproof jacket, and some patience, but definitely practice with that. Always plan on delays. There are no restrooms at every single off
Yeah.
ramp along either highway. So plan ahead. If you know you're going into stormy weather, stop in Colfax, stop in Placerville
Yeah.
or Pollock Pines beforehand. If you have to stop on the highway, get as far right off the road as possible so somebody doesn't slam into you when they hit the brakes. Don't let everybody get out of the car. That's the worst thing that you could do. You
Yeah.
don't want a bunch of people around in snow conditions. Keep everybody in the car. They're safe there. Have the seatbelts on. That's the best place. And if you ever need help, obviously call 911. The CHP has a full complement of officers out at that time. The CHP officers will call out Caltrans to go help. So there's always a lot of help out there if you get stuck, if you slip off the highway, that kind of thing.
We've looked at snow parks. We talked with Jen, and we gave you some local and state park alternatives where you can go with your family to go out and have some winter fun and just a great day in the mountains. But please plan ahead for weather and road conditions. Be prepared. Have all the necessary accoutrements in your car: blankets, food, water, extra clothes, especially for your
Yeah.
kids.
Yep.
And a snow park permit if that's where you're planning on spending your time and recreating. And I mean, I would bring my sleds in advance. Costco always sells them.
Yep. They also have the gloves and
They have everything right now.
yeah, right now is the
as
time.
we speak.
Yeah.
And just be prepared for traffic delays.
Yeah.
Next time, in our second episode of this series on winter activities, we're going to look at excellent snow play areas between Truckee and Lassen National Park, as well as some great ideas for family fun in the snow south of Lake Tahoe, all the way down to Yosemite National Park, which I'm really excited to talk about.
Yeah, me too. Because that's my old stomping ground. So
I know.
That'll be fun.
So here's your call to action. Subscribe to our podcast and share it with everyone you know. Visit park websites and support local foundations.
Yep.
Follow us on social media for updates and bonus content. We're on Facebook at Rogue Ranger Radio, and on Instagram, our handle is the same, all lowercase, Rogue Ranger Radio.
And we can't thank you enough for making Rogue Ranger Radio a part of your day. Be sure to give us a like and a review on your favorite podcast platform. It really means a lot. Also, spread the word about this podcast to everyone you know. And lastly, don't forget to check the show notes for links to things that we've talked about today. Now, go out and explore the best that California has to offer.